Hello, so we've discovered a new problem related to putting error bars on a bar graph. It would probably be the same kind of an idea that you probably also would have on a line graph though as well. But I'm going to focus on the bar graph here. And so I'm going to show you what the problem is first of all, and then I did figure out a solution for it. However, the solution that I figured out is only in Excel. I do not think that Google Sheets can do this based upon what I've found out, but you might be able to, if you did a little bit more research, maybe be able to figure out how to do this in Sheets. But eventually, once again, you're going to have to get this in Excel eventually, and just being prepared to take your data and plop it into an Excel spreadsheet, I think isn't really that big of a deal to be doing that at some point during this processing. Okay, so what I've done here is I've taken the data for average number of behaviors of each different type, hover, nest, prep, and spawn, for the 4 different treatments that we were working with. This is completely made up data, by the way. This is not actual data. So then what you would end up doing, once again, is you'd be making a graph. So it's insert, and then we would want a column graph. There we go. And it would look something like this. All right, so now we want to put error bars on them. And if you go into this chart tools section here, and you click on layout, one of the choices is error bars. And it's tempting to just say error bars with standard error and put that on it. But what it's going to do is you're going to notice that the error bars for each one of your series, so like hover being a series of data, nest prep being a series of data, for each one of your series it's going to end up having the error bars the same, and that's not what you want. You want to be able to calculate standard error of the mean for each treatment individually for each behavior. So I know it's a lot of stuff with quick calcs, but that's going to be the way that you're going to need to do that. So I'm going to go back into error bars and I'm going to take them off, and then I'm going to show you how to add error bars appropriately. So what you're going to want to do is somewhere else on your spreadsheet, using the same like sequence as what you have here, you're going to put your standard error of the mean for each one of those. So I would enter, first of all, I would go into Quick Calcs and I would do an analysis for just the hovers here, entering the number of hovers every single, all of them that I averaged in order to get this 20 into my column, and then I would click on compute it, and then it's going to give you a standard error of the mean. And then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to down below put that standard error of the mean, say in this spot, and then the one for the nest preps you're going to put in the spot right below it. So you're going to be putting them in the same order as you have up above. So once again, I'm making up values here, but let's say that my standard error of the mean for my control was something like 3. Okay, and then the nest preps, let's say that it's 9. And then let's say that my error bar for my spawns is 0.2. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same thing, entering all of my standard error of the means for all of my different treatments. And so for this, you would have to use Quick Calcs 12 times in order to get all of this, these standard error of the means. Okay, so I finished making up my standard error of the mean values. Now I want to make sure that I have the error bars on my graph for each one of those in the appropriate order. So what I'm going to do is click on my graphs again, gives me my chart tools. I'm going to go into the layout and I'm going to go into error bars. But I'm going to select, instead of error bars with standard error, I'm going to go down to the more error bars options. And then I'm going to pick one of my series. And in this case, I'm going to pick the hover series. And click OK. And then we want to do a custom error bars. We're not going to be able to do a fixed value, which is this is going to be because we want to actually include them separate and different. So custom, click on specify value, and then this is where you are going to be able to highlight that data series. So you have to click on the thing that it like sends you to the spreadsheet. And then you're going to highlight that data series. This is on the plus side. Okay, and then you have to do the same thing in order to get the negative error value. It's going to be the same data series. And so that'll give you plus or minus the same amount. Okay, and I'm going to close that one down. Okay, and then I'm going to specify the value for my, well, that one we can see here. It's going to show us these different sized error bars now. But now we also need to add the ones for the nest preps and the spawns too. So I'm going to go in here, going to select nest preps, okay, custom, specify value, select it in the spreadsheet, highlight those four, okay, and then on the negative it's going to be the same, highlight those four, okay. I'm going to close that and take a look at them, they're there. All right, and so then the last one to add would be for the spawns. So once again, select error bars, more options, click spawns, okay, custom, specify value, and then we're going to go to the spreadsheet, highlight that series, and then we're going to do the same thing for the negative, select that series, and okay, close, and now we have error bars for all of our values, and they're, you know, notice the error bar here for your, if we look at the error bars for your nest preps here, that error bar size is different than the error bar is here. And so this is the only way that you can get it to work that. So those would be my recommendations for how to make sure that our standard errors are appropriate to just one of our treatments for each one of our different behaviors that we were looking at.